Hello. It looks like it's working. Perfect. So I'm going to give everybody a minute or two to start jumping on. And then I'm going to go ahead and start the Instagram. All right. We are live on Facebook inside the Facebook group and also over on Instagram. So welcome in, everybody. I'm going to give folks a minute or two to jump on, whether you're on Facebook or on Instagram, and then we'll get started. We have a few things we got to discuss tonight. So I've got two devices going. That way, those of you that aren't on one platform can tune in on the other one. I was driving around today and I just felt like, you know what? I'm going to get on and I'm going to share some of these things that I'm seeing in the astrology and in the energy. So some of the things that I'm going to be discussing tonight are going to be the new moon in Taurus, which is happening tonight. We're also going to talk about the election prediction, what I was seeing as I was channeling for the Trump-Biden saga. And it's not a political rant or anything, it's just what I'm seeing in the energy. I'm curious to see what you guys think about it too. Ellen, I'm seeing over on Instagram saying that they're under a tornado warning and watches, and that is not normal for where she's at. So a lot of weirdness going on for sure. If you have any friends on Instagram, if you're watching on Instagram, if there's anybody that you want to invite in, just tag them in the comments and they can come and watch the video with you. The Facebook group, it's set to a private group, so you can certainly send the link to the group to friends, family, whoever you would want to attend next time, because that's a private group that I've got on there. So I think what I want to start with, and then at the end we'll do, where I'll shuffle my cards and I'll pull a couple cards of what the collective wants us to know. So we've got new moon, we've got the election. I want to say a few things about some weirdness that's happening with social media. And then I'll pull a couple cards for the collective and see what message the universe wants us to have. So thanks so much for everybody joining me. If you don't know me or if you're new to my work, I'm Delisa Hawking. I'm a 5th generation psychic medium. I am a clarity and activation coach. So what that means is I work with clients and students and I help them find freedom in their life by aligning them with their own spirituality and their own self-worth and value. And so I work with a lot of people that feel stuck, which I know is a big theme going on in the world these days. So the way I work, which I think is helpful just to let you know as we start this, because I'll be talking about what I'm seeing in the energy field, what I'm sensing with the election stuff. So to know where I'm going with this is probably going to be helpful because I stare off a lot into space as I talk about my predictions. So it's because I am clairvoyant. So I will see imagery and symbols projected out in front of me. I will hear words and phrases generally through the right ear. And I'm clairsentient. I will feel things in my physical body. And I will also get downloads, claircognizance, which is just, I know what I know, okay? So I'm blessed to be able to have a variety of different gifts that I use in my channeling and when I'm looking at different situations going on in the world or if I'm working with my students. But yeah, I'm 5th generation. It's on my dad's side of the family. And my gifts came in literally overnight in 2015. I will save that story for another time. But I was not expecting to do this for a living. You know, I worked as an executive in the casino industry in Las Vegas. And I owned a dating and matchmaking company, believe it or not. And I was on a trip to New York, and all my gifts came in. So I got to tell my grandmother a little bit about my gifts, and then she passed away shortly after. I think it was, in a way, her transferring her abilities over to me, which is really interesting. Both sides of the family have psychic lineage. So it's predominantly on my dad's side of the family, but we also have it on my mom's side. Lots of cousins and stuff that have these abilities, which is fun to talk about with all of them. And yeah, so here I am today doing this impromptu live stream. So let's start with, what do I want to start with? I feel like I'm going to start with the new moon in Taurus. So the new moon in Taurus is going to hit us this evening. And I'm starting with this because it's actually really good news, okay? And if you follow me on Instagram, that's where I post most of my content. I do post some on my Facebook page, but I post a lot on Instagram. So if you are following me on Instagram, I did a post last night about the new moon in Taurus and what the vibe is and what the story about it is. And I feel like this week and next week, so we're doing this live on Tuesday, May 7th. The energy feels really good. Like there's a lot of free flowing energy to this week and next week. The new moon in Taurus deals a lot with the energy of comfort foods. That's why I posted yesterday on Instagram. My last post in the carousel said, are you going to eat some comfort food tonight? So if you're eating comfort food for dinner tonight, I wouldn't be surprised. So the Taurus vibe is very much one of slow and steady wins the race. So it's probably a time in your life where you may be feeling like things are not moving as fast as you want them to, but yet Taurus is bringing blessings to you through this new moon. Why I felt this nudge to get on like right now and talk about this is it is a prime time opportunity to manifest what you want tonight. And I want to talk a little bit more about that and what I mean. You have this window of opportunity with tonight's new moon in Taurus to really sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what do I want to manifest? Because Taurus is over value and our material possessions. I often will caution people that say, oh, I want to manifest $1 million. Or let's take it smaller, something more practical maybe. I want to manifest $1,500. And then I'll usually ask them, well, why do you want to manifest $1,500? And they'll say, well, you know, I really need a new laptop. Okay. So pop quiz. Do they want a laptop or do they want to manifest $1,500? They want the laptop. The reason I bring up this example is I want you to be really clear as to what it is you're manifesting, okay? So if you sit with yourself tonight and you're like, gosh, I could really use a new laptop, then I want you to get really clear in your vision. I want you to see it in your mind's eye. I want you to feel yourself like holding a new laptop, okay? You got to get out of the way with how the universe is going to deliver it, okay? But I want you to focus on what it is at the core of it that you want. Don't manifest on the $1,500, manifest on the laptop, okay? The other example I want to give you for this is you have to know you're worthy of having it. If you don't think you're worthy of having the manifestation, you might get it, you might bring it in, but you won't be able to sustain it. Good example of this, you probably see it on TV or you read about it or you hear about it, people that win the lotto and then they lose everything. So they call it like the curse of the lotto winners. What I actually think is happening in a lot of those situations is they feel lucky, right? Like they buy the lotto tickets, they win the money. And for a while, it's really good. They're excited about it. But they didn't do the vibrational work on the inside to match the increase of the money flow coming into them. So it's almost the way that they show it to me, my spirit team shows it to me in my vision, is the lotto winner will get the money and then it like slips through their hands, like it doesn't stick. Now there's always exceptions to the rule, but there is this thing that happens with the energy field that says, we just gave you $5 million, but you don't think at the end of the day that you're worthy of being a good steward of the money. So then through whatever happens next, most of that money is gone and it's not held on to, it's not invested, whatever that means to you, right? Like it's not growing for you. So that's why I believe a lot of the times you see lotto winners that end up losing all of their money that they win. And they have people around them that maybe they don't have good boundaries with. And so they end up having other people trying to take money from them, okay? So that's a little piece about lotto winnings. So tonight's new moon is really good for understanding, here's what I know I'm worth, here's what I want to manifest. I'm going to be specific about it. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to sense it. I'm going to hold it as if it's already here, okay? Taurus energy, and some of you are probably Tauruses, or maybe you know your astrological birth chart and you know that you have Taurus placements, but Taurus energy, like I said a minute ago, it's very slow and steady. It can be very stubborn. They can also show up to things late because a lot of Taurus heavy people, meaning they have a lot of Taurus in their chart, they like to show up when things are like ready to go. They have this knack for beauty. Typically, when I see a Taurus walk into a room, I know that it's a Taurus or like it's a Taurus rising, because they have this like air about them that feels very connected to fashion or beauty or things like that. So when you're doing your manifestations tonight and writing it out and what you're manifesting, you can do things around money, material possessions, your value, your worth, the people you want to attract into your life that match that vibration. And then let it go. Don't tell the universe how it has to happen. Okay? Then let's talk about, and you can, I haven't looked at any of the comments. Oh, it looks like Ellen again is at the top of my screen saying that there's lasagna for dinner tonight, so I'm not surprised because of the comfort foods. Taurus is like creature comfort stuff. So anything like a pasta dish tonight, mashed potatoes, anything that you consider like a comfort food, I bet a lot of people are eating that tonight. So you can drop it in the comments now. I will try to take a look at those as they're coming in. Okay, let's talk about the funky stuff I'm seeing with social media. Oh, there we go, tuna casserole, exactly. So when I sent out the email a little while ago letting you know I was going live, I did get a few emails that came in that said, yeah, but why aren't you going live on YouTube? There's something funky going on with that platform. What I'm hearing, it has happened to me and it's happening to other spiritual practitioners and content creators. They flipped some switch over there. And there are videos that people are now getting banned. I had one of my videos banned the other day that I filmed a few years ago. And it was a private video. It wasn't even open to the public, and they banned it, and they said it was some kind of violation of their rules. And I was like, I don't even remember what I said in this video. It was so long ago. And it wasn't public. And then I kept hearing people talking about how their other spiritual people are getting their videos banned on that platform. So that's why I was like, I don't necessarily want to go live on there right now. And they really bury my content on there, so a lot of people can't even see it. So I just bring that to your attention because there's stuff obviously with TikTok that's happening right now. I saw today that there is some kind of lawsuit. Looks like China's trying to sue the U.S. It's a mess, basically. I predicted even a few years back, I said, social media is going to get really, really weird. And what you have with all of the different platforms that you can be on, they will change. And I don't think they will be as good or accessible as maybe they are right now. I'm going to keep watching it energetically because I may just keep moving more and more content over to Zoom and just do like our own Zoom conversation on there, which would require a little bit more participation in regards to like registering for it and then showing up, right? And just doing these kind of chats, but just doing it on Zoom. So if you see that I'm kind of experimenting with this a little bit, that's why. And honestly, at a moment's notice, any of these platforms could go down. I think we're on the verge of massive cyber attacks that could really screw up things like our power grids, the internet. So I even like my brain goes to, if the internet goes down, how would I tell everyone like where to meet so that I could tell you like what I'm getting psychically? So I'm still sort of trying to think through how that would work if we don't have internet. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. But I do think that things are going to get really funky with social media, the internet, what we have access to, and really what we can say. And I'm picking that up even in the energy collectively with things that are going on with the protests and different rules and regulations around what people can say, what they can't say. So as much as some people want to say we have free speech, I really, and I'm hearing it now in my ear from my spirit team, free speech will be tested yet again. So what you think you can count on today with these various platforms, I feel like it will be changing. All right, so just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. And if you see me send out an email, email's the best way to know if I'm going live and where I'm going live. You can, if you're not already on my email list, which I'm sure a lot of you already are, just go over to spiritandspark.com, put your email address in there. And that way, wherever I'm at, if I've got something I need to say and share with you, then at least you know where to find me, okay? And I'll do my best to try to get everybody engaged with the lives, because like I said earlier, I know not everyone's on Instagram or Facebook. Okay. Let's talk about the election. I put this on my Instagram stories, I don't know, probably a week or so ago. And I said to the stories, I said, do you want me to talk about what I'm getting with the election? Because I know politics are so sensitive for people. And I think 100% of people said yes, they wanted me to talk about it. So I preface this by saying I do not have an opinion on who wins. Like I don't have anyone that I'm like at home rooting for, okay? So I say that because I want you to understand, like I'm coming at this from a very neutral perspective. I have made predictions about elections before. One that is very controversial. And I won't, yeah, that's for another day because it's in the past. But I've been curious about the election this year because when I sit down and channel and look at this time in front of us, the rest of 2024, 2025, 2026, it feels like things get incredibly volatile. Now, I'm sure a lot of you who maybe don't identify as a psychic medium would say, oh yeah, I feel that too, right? Like that doesn't necessarily take a psychic medium to tell you that things are increasingly volatile, okay? But I thought about it when I sat down, and it struck me that the astrology is really kind of nutty as we get deeper into this year, and especially 2025. There's a lot of energy around discord and war, and we know that there's more and more with wars happening every single day. So it got me thinking, you know, if you turn on mainstream news, it's like, oh, you've got Biden, which we could go down a rabbit hole on that. you got Trump, you got RFK, right? You got a few of these folks that are kind of hanging around. So I sat down to look at the election and pulled up Trump and Biden. I just wanted to look at those two first, since those were the two that are on mainstream news. And I said, okay, Spirit Team, what do you want me to see regarding the upcoming election? And I have chills from head to toe right now as I say this to you. They show it to me, and I'm going to have them projected out in front of me right now too while I'm talking, so I can channel a little bit, please. Thank you. Yeah, and they're saying the same thing to me again right now. This election, I feel like, is going to be like no other election you've ever been through in your life. And I don't say that lightly, because we all know the last one was weird, and we are still hearing about what may or may not have happened at that election. There's all kinds of theories about what happened in the last presidential election. For this presidential election, the message that comes across is nobody wins. Now that could be like taken at surface level, like nobody wins, like what, we're going to find out like a couple days later? And it feels larger, bigger than that. So when I pull up Trump and Biden, it feels like neither one of them wins the election. And when I look at like an RFK, I don't really feel them either. So it makes me feel like leading up to the election, we're getting closer and closer to election season. But when we get closer, it feels like there is a crumbling of our normal election process. So it would not surprise me if people either were not able to go to election polling sites, if there's some kind of delay, because I can't stamp anyone a winner, which is weird, because when I've done this before and I look at the person who wins, I see very clearly in my mind's eye the person. It's very black and white. This one is not. So I would even go on to say, if there's anyone that you follow online and they're saying, oh, it's for sure Biden, he's winning in the polls, like, don't believe them. And if you hear somebody say, Trump's the dark horse, you know, he's going to get through all of his court proceedings and he's going to win, don't believe him, okay? There is so much static in the energy that it leads me to believe that there will be other things happening in the United States leading up to and around election time that's going to feel like a bigger issue, or feel like a bigger distraction. I still feel like, and if you've been following me or coming to my recent classes, you probably have heard me say this, but as I look at the energy of the United States, it even feels like there's more and more happening around the division of what we know today as the United States of America. I feel like there will be changes to the landscape, the map of the United States, and who is in charge of different parts of the United States. So this is by no means to cause any fear, anything like that. I share it because I also want to remind you that I believe you signed up to be a human being on Earth right now. And the things that we are going to see and experience in our lifetime is going to be wild, but it's why we came in. Like, we wanted the front row seat with our popcorn watching this all go down. So when you start to hear things start to crumble, disintegrate, really try to stay grounded, like that good old Taurus energy, grounded, knowing who you are, knowing your worth, breathing, meditation, so that you don't get wrapped up in the craziness that mainstream media is going to try to sell you. I believe that most of what will come out on the news as we get closer to the election will be mostly, at least partially, like there's a range of false information. And it's not me being like a conspiracy theorist. Media is going to be changing in general. I've been talking about it for the last few years. Changes with social media, mainstream media, newspapers, the way we communicate, it is going to be changing. So being centered in yourself with your breath, knowing who you are, knowing what you believe in, knowing what you value, that's going to get you through any and all storms that will be unfolding. I'm sure as time goes on, I'll talk more about this. The other astrological aspect that I'm keeping an eye on is going to be Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter, the planet of things big, expansive. Anything it touches, it makes bigger. And it's going into the sign of Gemini. Gemini is a sign that rules communications and two sides of communications, right? Because Geminis, the twins, like there's just two sides to a Gemini. And what you think you know 1 minute, it changes the next minute. And that's no dig on a Gemini. I'm a Gemini rising. But the energy around Gemini energy flips, but it's very quick with the mind. So it's a very intellectual, like quick-witted, communicative sign. So I know that communications, when Jupiter gets into Gemini, is going to change. The rhythm of communication is going to change. How we communicate and with who is going to change. So there's a bunch going on with that. The other thing that I want to call mention to, and I posted about it on Instagram probably a couple weeks ago, Jupiter and Uranus. So there is this vibe in the sky going on right now. Especially I want to mention it with this new moon in Taurus, where we've got this beautiful new moon tonight that we can manifest and we can really dream about the rest of the year, the rest of the next couple of years, what we really want to build, our foundation in our life. And with that, with Jupiter and Uranus in the mix, there can be a bit of unexpected blessings, okay? I told you this week and next week's energy is really like juicy and good. So even when you're manifesting tonight, I want you to keep your heart open to things coming to you that really are beautiful blessings without getting too attached to it. Because when we get too attached, that means our mind is involved. Like we want to tell the universe, like, here's what I want. Here's when I need it delivered. here's what it needs to look like. Can you get on that, right? That's too much in the mind and the frequency's off. So instead, like, tell yourself the story and see it and feel it for what you want to manifest. But unexpected blessings is also a part of what's in the mix right now. So that's good. We like that. Listen, we need the good news. But this week and next week, based on what I know, because I call myself an astrology enthusiast, I'm more of a psychic medium channeler. But what I know about the astrology and what I know based on people I follow in the astrology industry, this week and next week is some of the best astrology of the whole year. So use it to your advantage, okay? I want to take questions here in a second. If you're on Facebook, I can't see your questions. I apologize for that. But if you're on Instagram, if you have a question about what I've talked about, so things that are general to the world, about what's happening in the world, the new moon, drop it in the Instagram comment so I can see them there. As you're dropping any questions in there, I want to make mention, I know a lot of you watching right now are coming to my channeling class, and I'm going to also pull oracle cards here in a second for the collective. But I am teaching a Channeling 101 Connecting to Your Higher Self class this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. I think we've got about 60 people registered, so it's going to be really fun. We are doing that on Zoom. And I do it, it's a fun thing I've been doing every month. We vote, everybody votes. I send out an email and you vote on which class you want me to teach. And then I just say, name your own price. Name your own price. Because I want it to be a community class where everyone can come. And I mean it, like there are some people that do $1, there's some people that do $100, right? Like there is a huge range in what people give. And any amount unlocks it. The reason I do it that way is because it's an energy exchange. So you give what you feel called to give. You get access to the class, the handout, all that stuff. But I don't put a stipulation around how much you have to give to access it because I want everybody to be able to. So that's Saturday. If you can't attend live, it is recorded and it is sent out to you via email afterwards. And if you're not registered, send me a DM either on Facebook or Instagram and I'll send you the link to register. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I love teaching classes on channeling and astrology and psychic modalities. So it'll be fun. So again, that's this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. But I'll teach you how to connect to the light and connect to a high frequency so that you can bring in your own clarity and answers for yourself. So it'll be good. All right, I'm going to do cards here in a second. Let me look at Instagram and see if there's anything recently that came through in the questions. A lot of folks on here. This is fun. Oh, Simon, I didn't even notice. Simon says, who literally, the name is Simon says, it sounds like you're changing personalities. Your voice tone goes from high and low. Yeah. So a little fun fact about how I do these readings. So I have a view of the water, and that's not a brag, but it kind of is. It's beautiful. But I look out over the water, and that's where the clairvoyant messages come through, is like literally over the water. So I sit here and I can see everything, and it's like dancing over this beautiful bay that I look out over. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that when I channel, my voice changes. Navy bean soup, yeah, that's a comfort food. Oh, so Yoga Mom says, my prediction regarding no one winning, that they've heard it elsewhere before. Wouldn't surprise me. I think Spirit will give the same messages to a few people or several people at the same time. Because if we're tapping into the same frequency or the same source energy, then we probably would be getting a similar message. So, yeah. Will the video be sent out? I don't know. I say that because right now it doesn't even look like Facebook's live, so who knows if it's even going on there. And then when I hit stop on this, I think it will save to the Instagram as a reel, so you could watch the whole thing on Instagram. Barbarella, is there a more general question you could ask, just because I know there'll be 98% of people don't live in that state that are watching this. Oh, good question. So is 2024 a good time to still start an online business? Yes. I actually think that the energy is, I don't want to say better because I don't want to alienate the people that have like regular 9-to-5 jobs, but I think the energy presents an opportunity to be successful with your own business. Now, remember what I said a few minutes ago about communications being weird, internet being weird, the way we talk to each other being weird. There will be a lot of changes with AI and the way we communicate with each other. So if you're starting a business, awesome, congratulations. Or if you want to, great. Keep an open mind. Because I think the more open you can stay to how fast things are going to be moving, the better off you'll be. But if you go into this and you're like, I'm opening up a corner bakery and people are going to come wait in line every morning at 6 a.m. to buy my bagels and everything's going to be great, stop now. Instead, it could be like, you know what? I want to start a bagel business. I want to have a location where I bake them, but I want to incorporate people like customers from the local neighborhood. I want to incorporate in social media and ways to engage with people online. I want to teach an online class about how to make your own bagels at home. If you go into it thinking more diversified with curiosity about how you can reach your customers, I think you'll thrive. But if it's this like narrow-minded, vision of like, it's going to be this, then I think you could be in for some challenges. I do think AI will take over a bunch of jobs. So I think if you can really create something, your own business, then I think you'll just have this really unique, beautiful opportunity to create something when things in other parts of business and industry will be deteriorating. So, yeah. I've thought about, because I do business coaching and consulting, I've thought about doing a business course for spiritual entrepreneurs, like teach you all of the things I've learned over the last 9 years. So if that is something you're interested in, like send me an email or DM me, because it's something I have in the back of my mind of doing again. I've done them before. Okay. Christina, do you have a more general question about, because I told the other lady about California, so if you have a more general question about the election. Individual readings are few and far between. If you go on my website and you're on my email list, that is the best place, because when I have openings, I'll just send out an email. So if you go to spiritandspark.com, make sure you're signed up with an email address you actually check. I will send it out, but I will tell you right now, when the email goes out, the sessions are gone like pretty much immediately. So yeah, but the best way is to be on my email list. Yeah, there'll be a lot of things changing in a lot of states, but again, it's not about being in a state of fear. I've said this in other videos, if you can put on your crown of curiosity and approach the world of like, I wonder what's going to happen today, but in an upbeat, like optimistic way. You signed up to be here now. Your children signed up to be here now. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other signed up to be here now. So how do you want to navigate it through this lens of curiosity, adventure, and contributing to your own community in a way that helps other people? Okay, so don't try really hard not to go in a vibration of fear, because if you're afraid of what's going to happen in my city or what's going to happen in my state, am I going to be able to get X, Y, and Z? that is a vibration of fear. And remember, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I say you're either in a frequency of fear or faith. You're either in a frequency of prisoner of your own life, or you're in a vibration of being a pioneer. So prisoner or pioneer. Drop it in the comments. Are you prisoner or pioneer? Prisoner or pioneer? Because you can't be both. You can't be both. Okay, let's see here. AI. Let's see. Yeah, so Ellen's bringing up AI and social media and how the two might be kind of in the crosshairs with each other. I think AI just is going to change everything about our lives in the next, I think it moves fast. I think within the next few years, we're going to be shocked at how much AI is involved. And social media in a lot of ways feels like an old energy, an old currency. So I think it could be part of that unsteadiness that you're feeling around, is this platform going to be here tomorrow? Is that platform going to be there next week, right? So if you go through your life checking and scrolling social media regularly and you think it's always going to be like that, it's not. I mean, you think about it. I know from when I was posting, because I've owned several companies. So I've watched the algorithm change on all of these platforms. And I'm telling you, they bury content. They bury it. You know, I have over 900 followers. I turned my Instagram public, and I've been posting more regularly on there. So I think in the last, 4 to 6 weeks, I think it's picked up like 150 new followers, which is really cool. And I'm so happy that new people are finding me on there. But I can tell that it's only shared with a fraction of my audience. And if that fraction of the audience that sees it doesn't engage with it, like if it doesn't like it, or if it doesn't post a word or a comment underneath it, it stops showing it to people. So, and you don't know if you're part of the first group seeing it or if you're part of a latter group seeing the content. So it's why if you like a creator, whether it's me or somebody else, but if you like the content they're putting out, liking it and commenting on it really actually does help, because then more people will have the opportunity to see it. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're going through and looking at content, because a lot of people that are putting out great content are getting buried. That's why they're starting their own apps or starting their own networks, like, because they don't want to have to deal with all of the algorithm stuff anymore. So I don't think AI is going to be the overall culprit. I think it's more people fighting people. There's so much divisiveness and anger in the energy that I think that will escalate even more. And I think that will be the beginning of the breakdown, even more so. Yeah, so we have a comment in here about casinos and being hit hard financially and layoffs. And I think AI will be a big part of the culprit with what can AI do that will then take 3 people's individual jobs and consolidate it into one person that's doing it. So I think we'll see layoffs, but that's across all different kinds of industries. So it goes back to my point in the question that came up a minute ago about, is it a smart time to start your own business? And if you've ever had an idea or you've been thinking about doing something, I would suggest really sitting down with yourself tonight with this new moon and be like, what the heck, why not? And ask yourself, if I could have my own business, what would I do? But the landscape will be changing so rapidly that it's going to take resiliency and tenacity no matter what industry you're in and whether you're working for yourself or you're not working for yourself. But think of it as like, what if you had a full-time job and what if you were starting your own business on the side? So it's something to think about for sure. Oh, yeah. So there's a comment here about a COVID situation. That's really interesting you bring that up, because I really look at news headlines on one site, which is Drudge Report, because I like that it's a variety of different sources on one website page. And I usually don't click on any of the links. I just scroll the headlines because I'm looking at energy trends. And one of the things I've noticed on there is there's a increase daily on bird flu stuff. And then how ironic is it that they're calling the new COVID variant flirt? Really? Who is in charge of naming this stuff? Flirt? Okay. If that's not some kind of collective messaging they're trying to give to people, I don't know what is. Okay? All the pioneers. Good. I'm glad all the pioneers are here. Let's see here. Yeah, AI definitely has the potential to be manipulated, and if the people who are behind it or alongside it are not using it for good, it does have potential ramifications for sure. Yeah, so there are some states that are thinking about or trying to create different state lines. I live up in the Pacific Northwest, so there's talks like creating a greater Idaho, and I don't know all of you could Google literally greater Idaho, state of greater Idaho, and I think it incorporates in some Western Washington, some Oregon, maybe a little bit of California. Yeah, you'd have to look, but it's called Greater Idaho. But California has been in discussions, I know, about how they would divide up potentially their state. So doesn't surprise me, right? Let's see. How do we address the disruptors to restore life and humanity? $1 million question, right? Another thing I posted on my Instagram the other day was about Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. So I bring that up right now with this question because I think more and more people are going to be disillusioned, confused, and lost. I am concerned about people that have alcohol or drug issues because Neptune and Pisces at 29 degrees is typically an activation that causes the potential for people to really numb themselves. There is, in my opinion, a lot of victim energy in the collective. And we, frankly, have a lot of people that want to save the victims, right? They want to rescue them. They want to be the saviors. So we have a massive issue with victim triangles. And DM me if you need the book to that. Just say Victim Triangle book, and I'll send you the Amazon link. The book changed my life. But there's a lot of victim mentality and handouts like, I've been victimized, therefore I want blank. So in my opinion, I think until we heal the victim dynamics, until we're tired of being a victim, then I think a lot of things don't change. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Okay, I think I got through all of the comments. Let's pull a couple cards. And sorry, Facebook, I don't know why yours aren't showing. Okay. Whew. But comment if you feel like you got something out of this live stream. I did also pull the Facebook group and ask them, hey, if I jumped on once a week, would you like that? Would you watch it? So if you enjoyed it, let me know. And it's kind of off the cusp type of topics I think I would want to talk about. The election was just one that kept like coming in over and over. But yeah, we can talk about different things that are unfolding in the world. Oh, what cards do I want to do? Let me ask them. Okay, I'm going to do tarot. I was going to do oracle, but I'm feeling more tarot. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I appreciate the comment. Yeah, the victim triangle stuff is gnarly. Gnarly. And it's so fascinating. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So now, like, everything in my life, every relationship, like whatever kind of relationship, whatever relationship it is, I can't help but see where the victim triangle plays out. And maybe, you know, I would love to teach a class on the victim triangle and how to like get out of your drama triangles and all that, but I know I'm known for being a psychic medium and a clarity coach, right? And a business coach. But if you guys ever want me to teach a class on how to break free of your drama triangles in your life, then let me know. Because I know all you guys are like, teach me about mediumship, teach me about remote viewing, teach me how to channel. I'm like, okay. We could go deeper. We could go deeper than all that. Yeah, those triangles are just woo, woo, woo. Oh, Simon, thank you. It's good to see you on here, Simon. Haven't seen you in a minute, buddy. Okay. So let me sit with these cards for just a moment. So, Spirit, what do we need to hear? What do you want to remind us of? Ooh, gives me the chills. Okay. I'm just going to pull a few. My method for reading cards is a little more casual because I channel so much faster. I had this conversation with somebody yesterday about card reading. I'm like, oh yeah, I teach card reading and psychic development, all that good stuff. I'm like, but once you like really start to trust your own voice and intuition, you get messages so much faster than reading cards. But I know some people like the proof. The proof in the cards. Let me flip these. Let's see what we got. What do we need to remember? Interesting. No surprise. A lot of what's already been said is confirmed in the cards. And then I'm also feeling like I'm going to say something channeled that's verbal. So let me do that in a minute. So with these cards, a lot of pentacle energy and cups. Okay. King of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, excuse me, King of Cups, 3 of Cups. So this card, when I see it, let me hold it up. This is the 8 of Pentacles. Whenever I see the 8 of Pentacles, you see him, he's on there, he's like working hard. He's got like his little chisel thing there. This reminds me of somebody who's like, you know what? I know what I'm good at, and I'm going to make it happen. Because remember, all of what came out during this live stream about starting a business, finding out what you're good at, manifesting it, doing it, putting in the work, staying open-minded. That reminds me of this combination of the King of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles. And then the 3 of Cups for me is a celebration card, like paying off. And because it came after the 8 of Pentacles, for me, it's like hard work pays off. Hard work pays off. Knowing your worth. And I told you I read these a little bit differently. My teacher was out of the UK, and he had a completely different system than most people go by. King of Pentacles, for me, is knowing your worth. knowing your worth, making it happen, working hard, and it pays off. Okay? So maybe part of this live stream tonight was to get you in a frame of mind to go get the things you want and not to like sit on the sidelines of your life. Okay? So I felt like they wanted to say something else, my spirit team, so I'm just going to close my eyes for a second and see. I don't know how many of you know this. I used to have my own live show, stage show in Las Vegas. And I would sit in the middle of the stage and I would channel a message verbally every show. And I just kind of feel that like nudge coming on. So let me close my eyes for a moment and see. So Spirit, what do you want them to know? What do you want them to hear? Everything is going to be just fine. There is a lot of illusion that meets you as you go through your life. Question it. Ask yourself what you believe about what it is you are seeing and sensing. Your intuition will not lead you astray, but it will take you finding time to be by yourself, meditating, listening to the sounds of nature, grounding into the grass beneath you to be able to stay clear. There is a lot of noise out there, a lot of people trying to get you into a state of fear because fear for them equals control. So the more you lean into faith and being a pioneer, the more you will be able to successfully navigate your life no matter what happens. It's not about trying to figure out what is around the next corner. Instead, it is about really navigating the moment that you're in. We don't want you to be in a state of fear, wondering what is going to happen in your life next. Instead, we would rather have you be in this moment with your breath, asking yourself the bigger questions about what you want for your own journey ahead. You can't mess this up, but you can, by your actions and your choices, determine how rough of a road it could be. The more you lean into your faith, the faith of yourself, the faith of the universe, whatever it is you want to believe in spiritually, anchor into that. Anchor into the knowingness that you are here for a reason, a purpose. You are still alive today because you're not done yet. Take faith in knowing you are not done yet. So what are you going to do with your precious time here on earth? How are you going to lift other people up, and how are you going to contribute on your own street? Get out of your own mind, your own way, and celebrate all of the moments that happen in every single day of your life that truly are miracles. Okay. I think feels like a good place to to stop. I wasn't planning on doing a verbal channeling, but there you go. There you go. So if you enjoyed this on Instagram, please tag a friend, a family member or two, and encourage them to follow my Instagram account. That way they can be a part of the next live stream. And yeah, everybody over on the Facebook group, thanks for being a part of the community. And like I said, if you're on the email list, you will get the notification. So keep an eye out on that for what's coming up. And like I said, if you want to come to the channeling class this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, just DM me if you're not already signed up, and I'll send you the link to that. But yeah, hopefully I'll see everybody Saturday for class. I got it all done. The handout's ready. It'll be fun, and you'll be, I think, really surprised at what information you can get when I walk you through the very simple process. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the kind words and the comments. I appreciate you. And yeah, we'll do this again soon. So make sure you keep in contact on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. Go manifest. Go manifest. Get it done. You got this. I believe in you. All right.